Good morning. When politicians indulge in half-truths or take action which is shrouded in mystery, then you can be sure that there is something wrong somewhere. Politicians are in the habit of being very vocal about their actions. But when they come out with a policy and do not explain it absolutely, you can be sure that they are not sure about the policy themselves. And that's what's happening in Alberta. They come with an education policy, but no details. As I was talking yesterday, that the foreign policy is there, but there are no details. And now comes the bombshell. Ontario government, under Kathleen Wynne, has signed a deal, an energy deal with Quebec. Well, signing a deal is not bad by itself. But what's the deal? And this deal, which they have signed, has not been talked about in public. Again, there has been no public consultation. There has been no debate, and the deal has been signed. And it's a secret deal. And this deal is so harmful to Ontario that the thousands of jobs would be lost. And millions of dollars would be lost of the taxpayer. And the taxpayer will be paying much more for hydro. Amazed? Well, the government signed a deal to buy 8 tetrawatt of energy per year from Quebec. And 8 terawatt is just 6% of the power Ontario used last year. Just 6%. The balance 94% will go waste. If you remember, Ontario has been giving electricity to USA and paying for that. Okay, use our electricity, we have a surplus electricity. So on the one side they were paying surplus electricity, paying for the surplus electricity. On the other side now they have asked on Quebec to supply them Ontario, and they supply much more than they need because their total need was just 6% of the power of the supposed purchase. And what about the energy generated in Ontario itself? And then this purchase price is shocking. Ontario would pay 6.12 cents per kilowatt hour for Quebec. And it will increase 2% every year for 20 years. 2% every year. This is 3 times more we pay to the Ontario producers at the hourly rate. The hourly Ontario energy price is 2 cents. And here we'll be paying Quebec 6.12% per kilowatt hour. Are you not shocked? I am. It is higher than 5% per kilowatt Ontario is currently paying for power from Quebec. So we are at present buying at 1.12 whenever we need, and now we'll be paying 6.12. No wonder that the media, like La Presse in Quebec, they are saying it's a golden opportunity for Quebec. But this is a disaster for Ontario. But do we need it? We don't. The last year, the province wasted 7.6 terawatts of clean power. And it was wasted by spilling hydroelectric power. And again, we are going to increase our own generation by extending Pickering and refurbishing our own nuclear plant. So when you don't need it and you are committed to buy it for the next 20 years at a price which is 6 times more than what you are paying to Quebec at present and 3 times more than you are paying your own producer, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe Not for you, maybe, not for me, but definitely for some politicians and some political parties. So we have seen that we don't need a power, but we are going to pay for it. And we are going to pay for it 3 times more than we pay our own producers and 5 times more than we have been paying at present. Then, what about the employment? You see, when you have a war surplus as we have at present, you don't buy a deal. Until and unless you have taken a decision to close down all the Ontario plants. And if that's a decision, thousands of the Ontarians would be put out of their jobs. Not only that, Ontario will pay Quebec regardless of the fact whether you use the power or not. And under the market dispatch rules, Quebec power will be prioritized. How stupid. Sorry, stupid for Ontarians, not for Quebecers. For Quebecers, it's a golden opportunity. I don't know what opportunity I call it. I'll call it a bankruptcy opportunity for Ontarians. Now come to the hidden costs. This deal hides the extra cost of upgrading Hydro One's transmission lines to Quebec. At present, those lines are not as effective to carry this heavy load of 8 terawatt per year. And this upgrading is going to cost billions of dollars, according to IESO interim report. And I, as a member of IESO, have seen this report. And what will happen is that these costs would be passed on to Hydro One customers. Now, an IESO is a government organization to advise the government on the energy. So this action is being taken against that. And then, this report also hides the decommissioning and severance costs of Ontario power facilities and its workers. Because when you throw people out, you have to pay them the severance pay. Then you have to pay the decommissioning costs. They are doing it because you can't deny it. And these hidden costs have not been revealed either to the public or to the media. What are the risks? Under this deal, Ontario will pay for the power every year whether you are using it or not. You already have surplus power and you sell it to USA and also give them money. Now this is a curious thing. You buy power which you don't need. You sell power which you don't need. So both you are losing. And you buy it at much more higher cost, displacing your own workers, billions of dollars of the hidden cost. Many times, quite possible that there might be a shortage because the transmission upgrades may not be completed on time. Or the province doesn't need the power, but you have to pay full price. Now, from where does the money come? Naturally, your hydro bill will go up appreciably. And every single decision this government has taken till date has enhanced and increased the energy sector prices, with the Ontario families paying more and more and more and getting less and less and less. Now come to that, why did the government indulge in this action? No sane person buys something which he doesn't need. No sane person buys something 3 times more than what he can get in the open market and which he is getting. Would you, as a customer, go to the market and pay to one grocer 3 times more than what you are paying to the grocer next door simply because you are importing it? Would you pay for your grocery 5 times more than you paid yesterday because you have agreed to buy from that grocer for 20 years at enhanced price and increase it every year for 20 years? You have committed yourself to insolvency and stupidity. So why did this happen? Hamlet reminds me, Hamlet, the famous play by Shakespeare. There is something rotten in the state of Denmark. Here, everything seems to be rotten in the state of Ontario. But do we have an alternative? Sometimes I feel yes. But then what happened under Bobre terrifies me, because that destroyed and tanked the economy. Even Mike Harris was no better. It's basically the breed of politicians. What we have to need and do is to ensure that there's a debate on every subject, which is not there. That the brute majority should not enable a political party to take decisions which are harmful to the people. Why can't we have a system of selective referendum? For example, for such deals, why can't we have a referendum? Let the people decide. And Ontario doesn't have that big a population. It is one of the heaviest populated provinces, but still, it's only GTA. Why cannot we have selective referendum, as I said, or at least public consultation? But then, let's not forget anything which is secret. Is secret because there's something to hide. If you're transparent, if you're honest, you don't have to hide the facts. You negotiate, you take a decision, you sign the deal, and then you know it through the Quebec media. What a golden opportunity for Quebec and what a disaster for Ontario. I marvel. How long would the greed and the cupidity of the politicians keep on harming the interest of the citizens who have entrusted their fate to them? How long would such calamities or calamitous decisions continue to be tolerated? I fully appreciate that this is the responsibility of the government to take long-term planning. But a long-term planning and an action which is a disaster, should it? I think the fault is of the opposition as well. They at least can rally the public, which they are not doing. When this deal was signed, was it not incumbent on each and every MPP to hold a town hall and explain to the people what is happening? And not a single MPP held the town hall. If the PC and the NDP had arranged the town hall, at least in their ridings, there would have been a swell of protests. Why doesn't some public-minded organization sign a public interest litigation telling the court, the superior court, that this agreement, this deal is injurious to the people and is not acceptable? As a matter of fact, any trade deal which is harmful to the people can be struck down in the public interest. At least it will create a debate. Why can't any political party do it and arrange public demonstrations, public protests, and town halls? Why is the media quiet again? Why hasn't CTV and CBC started and initiated debates on that? Why are the local TV stations and the radio stations, and there are zillions of them, keeping their mouths shut? Because they're getting the advertisements from the government and they don't want to annoy the government which feeds them. But do they forget that they'll also be a part of the suffering people? It's then who is ultimately responsible? It's you. I agree that you were not aware of this and similar situations earlier, but now you are. Can you not go en masse to your MPP and tell him, revoke the deal? There's always a possibility of revoking it. Quebec is not going on to war on this issue. So tell your MPPs that get the deal revoked or do not come to us or vote next year. Is this asking too much? If not, do it. My heart boils, my blood boils when I see this daylight robbery, not only on myself but on the coming generations as well. When I see the underhand means being adopted by the government to enhance the financial burden on the innocent citizens who entrusted their fate to this government, and this government is failing them badly. I only hope that you compel your legislators to take immediate corrective steps. Tomorrow it shall be too late. Thank you.